Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the home studio today at 30 minutes past 3 on Tuesday, September the 17th, 2019. Sure hope you are enjoying your Tuesday, no matter where it is you are in the country. And there are multiple reasons why I am broadcasting live today. No less important than, in case you don't know already, this has been circulating around the Facebook world for about 2 hours now, that the NJSEA meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. has been canceled by the NJSEA, and Mayor Alberto Santos posted the following on his Facebook page about an hour ago. And I'm just going to read it to you because it makes the most sense. The NJSEA canceled its public meeting for Wednesday due to a threat of violence directed at the agency. No further details were provided. Any threat must be immediately addressed by law enforcement and all necessary precautions taken. Kearney residents should note that the town's air monitoring stations at Keegan are registering high reads this afternoon in excess of 100 parts per billion. Now, that is monitoring station number 2, which is apparently offline today, at least right now. This is monitoring station number 1, which is right at the field at Harvey. And you can see that going back to last night, where you see the number 50, and at about 10 o'clock, it registered 48 parts per billion. And right about now, where you see 1500 toward the right of your screen, it's registering about 1 part per billion. But that doesn't take away from the notion that yesterday, Harvey Field was evacuated. Kids who were playing soccer and their families who went out of their way to bring them to Harvey Field were evacuated from the field because of the high readings. And in case you have not seen it yet, here is a video from yesterday of people being evacuated from Harvey Field, courtesy of Facebook.
Poor air quality. Look, everybody here. Fields closed. Poor air quality. Emissions too high out here.
So I'm going to keep this looping a little bit as I speak here, because I want you to know a few other things about this situation. As you can see, there's a lot of kids there. It's so unfortunate that this has to happen. It's not the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last time it happens. And the biggest joke of it all is that the NJSEA proudly said last week how excited they were that the new gas collection system was in place and that there were dramatically better readings coming from the landfill. Well, this is happening now after the gas collection system's been put in place. As you can see, people have to leave. They have their kids who are enjoying their soccer time on the fields, and they have got to leave. So it's a real farce of a sort that this is happening all after the gas collection system was put into place by the NJSEA. Now, I also want you to know of something else. It makes sense that the New Jersey State Police would be the agency that would be involved in investigating these alleged threats of violence against the NJSEA itself. But in theory, this property where the NJSEA has its buildings and offices and things of that nature, this building is in the jurisdiction of Lyndhurst. And I just got off the phone a few minutes ago with Sergeant Vincent Ortieri, who is the public information officer of the Lyndhurst Police Department. And as he said to other agencies of news, they have not received a single call about a threat or a perceived threat at all about what's going on at the NJSEA. So you take that with you and think of it what you may. But they did not report this to the Lyndhurst Police Department, but instead they did report it to the New Jersey State Police. Again, It sort of makes sense because the state police do, in fact, protect the meetings. There are usually at least 2 state troopers who attend the NJSEA meetings to keep the members of the NJSEA governing body safe. But the bottom line is the Lyndhurst is the town where they have their offices, and the police department there was not informed of anything whatsoever about this situation. Now, you also need to keep something else in mind. Whether or not there were actually threats, we'll probably never really know. And I'm not suggesting that there weren't threats made. However, you've got to keep this in mind. The irony of this meeting being canceled one day out, it was already rescheduled from Thursday to Wednesday. You also have to realize that this is all happening just a couple of days after Senator Nick Sacco, who is a very, very powerful man in Trenton, offered his resolution to the Environment and Energy Committee of the State Senate. Take away from that, again, what you wish, but it is also very interesting that this meeting is canceled just a couple of days after Senator Sacco, who holds a lot of power in New Jersey, offered this resolution. So, again, you think of that what you wish, but there are facts that need to be known, and that is one of them. And it is very, very important at this point in time to recognize that when you have a powerful man who is preparing a resolution to go before the state Senate's Environment and Energy Committee, and then the meeting gets canceled just a couple of days later, perhaps there's a little bit something more to this. But again, we'll never know the true reality of it. So that's where we are right now as we welcome in Barbara Goldberg. Hello, Barbara Goldberg. It's always nice to see you. Adam Ginsberg is here also. He says, how can we find out what the threat was? Adam, I don't think we're going to find out right now because they're quote-unquote investigating it right now, and when something like that happens, the police rightfully keep it quiet until the investigation is completed. Now, if there is a true threat here, and if, in fact, somebody is arrested for having made threats, we don't know what kind of threats were made, whether it was on social media, whether it was a letter or a phone call. But if there is an arrest of some sort, and the NJ State Police will be responsible for that, we will certainly look into it and try to get as much information as possible. So once the investigation is over, and that's when we'll pretty much be able to get it. Just not right now, because they wouldn't have canceled the meeting tomorrow if they were ready to make an arrest or anything of that nature. So, but we will, of course, try to find out as quickly as possible what the situation is. Now, don't forget, the meeting's canceled tomorrow. So if you decided to take off work, or if you, like me, if you were going to take a trip with Barbara Goldberg tomorrow to the NJSEA in Lyndhurst, cancel your plans because it's not going to happen. But as we always do, if we do get any more information, we will certainly let you know as soon as that information becomes available. It's just very scant right now. So once it does become available, we, of course, will share it with you right away. So will NJSEA offices be closed tomorrow, or is it just the meeting that's canceled? I would imagine the offices would probably be open but protected because they also have tours that go on there. But it's interesting that you ask that question, Adam, because they are often children on the property of the NJSEA. They go around and they go on these tours. They do bird watching. They take trips around the Environment Center, which is part of the building where we go for the meetings. So it might make sense that the complete offices would be closed, but I just don't know if they will, because a lot of times there are field trips and things scheduled for there. But logically speaking, you would think that if there's a perceived threat for the commissioners, that maybe they would actually go and close the whole place down. But Brian Amberbach, who is the public information officer for the NJSEA, said he couldn't make any other comments. Barbara wants to know if we could find out when it will be rescheduled. On the website for the NJSEA, when they announced the meeting was canceled, they said that they would announce the rescheduled date as soon as they possibly could. So I would imagine it will be rescheduled. If I had to guess, probably next Wednesday or next Thursday, as long as they're able to figure out what happened with this perceived threat. But as soon as we know, we will let you know as soon as that information becomes available. I don't think they're going to announce it anytime today, and I doubt they would tomorrow either. So I think we're looking more toward Thursday or Friday before we know when the rescheduled meeting is. And I would imagine also it will come with as little notice as possible, with the thoughts that maybe if we don't announce when the meeting is, less people will show up. Quite the opposite, isn't it? I think at this point, knowing that Harvey Field was closed and knowing that the readings are still reaching over 100 parts per billion, despite this gas collection system, that there are going to be people who come to the meeting whenever it is. Now, before I sign off, I want to remind you that this broadcast and all the broadcasts for the next 3 weeks are sponsored by Kearney Collision. Scott Wallace and his crew at Kearney Collision at 530 Kearney Avenue do a fantastic job on any kind of bodywork for a vehicle, whether it's from a crash or if you have, as I keep mentioning, that 68 Mustang that's sitting on your driveway waiting to be restored. If you don't have the time, you don't have the energy to do that restoration, or if you've been in an accident recently, bring your car over to Kearney Collision. Scott Wallace and his crew will make it look like it's brand new. I saw it firsthand when a dear friend of mine had a little crash, and the car, which had a very, very unique color, came back as if it was just off the lot. Probably looked better coming off the garage at 530 Kearney Avenue than it did when it came off the dealership. That's how good the work is at Kearney Collision. So give them a call, 201-955-0606, 201-955-0606. Drop by, see Scott at 530 Kearney Avenue, or log on to www.kearneycollisionnj.com. So that's going to do it for now. If anything else develops during the rest of the day, I'll certainly come back and join you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everybody, and we'll see you back here again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.